Men and women, welcome to CJ Unplugged. Football season is back. This is not an ad read for FanDuel or DraftKings. This is just a statement because many of you are probably wondering where your boyfriends and husbands went last night and this week. Well, college football and NFL is back, baby. That is right. I'm a big football fan, quite excited. I do have a pretty nice fantasy team, but my friends would argue otherwise. But yeah, football season is back. I'm excited. Everyone watched the game last night. Today's Friday, so that would be the Chiefs Ravens game, lost by a mere centimeter. Tragic. Tonight's going to be Green Bay and Philadelphia. Then we got some college football tomorrow. And then Sunday football kicks off this Sunday. So super excited for that. People always hate when you bring up football, like if they're not a football fan. I think it's ridiculous. We live in the United States, which is a free country, and we should be able to enjoy things, right? All sorts of things. Football, sports, arts, music. I mean, we literally live in the country of the land of the free where we can do anything, enjoy all sorts of entertainment and media. You know, these people out here complaining like, oh, football again. You think the homeless kids in other countries kicking around a literal pig head as a soccer ball would love to go to a Seahawks game sometime probably? Should be a little more grateful, okay? So let's stop complaining about football because people, quite frankly, in other countries would love to go sit down at a college football game. SEC game? Can you imagine an Alabama game to one of those kids? Dream come true. I'm by myself again today in the podcast studio. No sound man or guest yet. I know I always talk about guests. I've been talking about guests forever now, right? It's going to happen, I promise. I need time. It's going to be a while. But I'm here alone again. I had to go to the bathroom before I started this, and they close in maybe an hour, 15, so I got to wrap it up soon. But I had to go use the bathroom, and all the bathrooms in this facility, every single one, every level, all around it, are locked with like 3 locks. And they have a literal keypad to get into the bathrooms. So I have to pee really bad, which, by the way, there's a fine line. Like, you know when you think you have to pee? There's a fine line between thinking you have to pee and then peeing your pants. Like, that time is short. Like, when you're hungry, you're like, okay, I'm kind of hungry. I can go hours until I finally get that feeling in my stomach, like, all right, I got to eat something. When you have to pee, it can go literally from, oh, yeah, I might have to tinkle, right? 15 seconds later, you're peeing your pants. It's crazy. I almost peed myself walking down these steps. That might have been too much. But anyways, this facility, every single bathroom is locked down because of the homeless. This is literally like a homeless camp. They come in here. It's downtown. It's free. It's public space. So downstairs and throughout all these levels, there are just tons and tons of the unhoused or street people, however you want to, whatever political correct term is for them. But they just kind of chill out here. I don't know if they're allowed to use the bathrooms, probably for heroin and drug use reasons, I'd imagine, which makes sense. My work at Subway, we would have people steal from like, I don't even know where, but they would come in with bags and then they'd go in the bathroom and rip all the tags off and like put on the clothes. And then I'd go clean the bathrooms later. I'd find just like millions of tags from like Ross and TJ Maxx all over the floor. So I guess that's what people also use bathrooms for. I also found a heroin needle in the bathroom one time. I worked at Subway. I have so many stories from there. It was 2 years. I literally found a heroin needle and a spoon fresh. The guy just walked out. I had to kick him out because he's in there for like 45 minutes just making noises. It was crazy. He was just in there going, I don't want to make the noises, but you get the gist. He was just screaming and making quite odd noises. And I think it took a good 5 minutes to get him out, but he was in there for a long time. And then sure enough, we find a needle and a spoon and some black tar heroin residue. So, but it's Washington. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not even illegal here anymore. I literally called Crime Check and I said, hey guys, got some heroin here. There's still some left. Like it wasn't just it wasn't just a spoon and a needle. There was some on there still. Good amount left. Poor guy probably left his stash. I don't know. But yeah, I called the cops and they came, or they didn't come. So I called Crime Check and they said, yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. It's pretty much legal here now. You can only be arrested for like a certain amount for intent to distribute or something like that. But you can literally be high on any drug around the street of Washington or at least Spokane and not get in trouble. So found that out that way. That was like 3 years ago. Anyways, I don't even know where I was. We have some crazy stories today, as always. I picked out 4 super fun ones. I'm excited to talk about these. First up, we have my favorite state, California. Half a house for $500,000. Now, you might be asking, what is half a house? Is that just a duplex? Is it just half of a duplex? Is it just a really small house? Is it a house where everything's just cut in half? You get like half a fridge, half a freezer, half a toilet? No. A home crushed by a tree hits the market for $500,000. Guess where? Well, we know California. LA, baby. The Angels, city of the Angels, baby. The Golden City, which is no longer the Golden City. It's one of the worst cities in America, if you ask me. Been there one time, and it's lost its touch. Hollywood Boulevard, it's all just homeless people and human feces. I'm not even kidding you. It's disgusting. Maybe not. I mean, I went during COVID, so maybe I don't want to defend California and Hollywood at all. I think they deserve all the stuff they're getting online, but maybe it's better now. I don't know. I don't know if I'll go back. The 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom bungalow in suburban Monrovia. I'm really bad with words. You guys know this. Monrovia, northeast of Los Angeles, was crushed by a tree in May with 2 renters and 2 dogs inside. Oh, there's no injuries. Bummer. I'm kidding. But a fence and most of the roof were mangled. Now what's left of the property, missing its walls, hanging wires, and no ceiling, just hit the market for $500,000. Now, I don't even know why this is a story, because this does not surprise me at all. And if it surprises you, wake up. This is reality. You can't even buy a shed in SoCal for less than $200,000. I can only imagine what I live in a single bedroom apartment. It's technically a 2-bedroom, but one of them is so small it's used as an office. And I pay $850 for rent. I know my buddy who lived in, I think it was near Burbank, possibly, just north of Los Angeles. He was paying $2,000 for just himself in a 4-person apartment. So each person's paying $2,000. That is $8,000 for a 4-bedroom apartment. That is nuts. When I lived in Cheney, going to Eastern Washington, I think I paid $550 for a 4-bedroom. So it was just a little over $2,000 for the 2.2 total. And it was a nice place. It was actually really nice. Got our own bathroom, our own closet. We had a full kitchen. It was furnished, so it came with a bed and a TV in each room and a bed. It's a twin-size bed. I got a different bed. Don't worry. California has just gotten worse and worse with the housing market, and I don't know if it's ever going to get better. It's getting pretty bad over here too. If you guys don't know this, Washington loves doing whatever California does. Whatever California passes as a law, Governor Inslee just gets tickled. He goes, woo, and he passes it. Because he thinks for some reason we're comparable to the size of California. There might be, if I had to guess, 10 to 12 million people in Washington, and that may be pretty high. Maybe not even that much. Maybe under 10 million. There's definitely more than a few million. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. And for some reason, California, by the way, if you guys don't know this, California has more people in it than Canada. Canada's an entire country above us. I don't know if they're larger than us by mass, but they have the North Pole and all that. There are more people living in California than the entire country of Canada and a lot of countries in Europe. And yet, for whatever reason, Oregon and Washington and a couple other states, whatever California does, whatever the West Coast does, they just get tickled and they have to do it too. Let me give you a hint. Washington is not California. Not only are we a smaller state, we have less people, and we are vastly different. Okay, we get this thing called snow. I guess maybe Northern California gets that too. I'm not sure. Probably not. Actually, I don't think it does. Sacramento's north, and they don't get... No, that's not that north. Regardless, we have this thing called really cold winters and Republicans. And the stuff you pass into law is not going to fly over here, okay? We just don't have the capacity for it. And that's why I don't like living here. That's why I'm moving. Spokane is the good side. I mean, I'm not going to lie. We have a lot of good things over here. Lakes, rivers, a mountain. We have like one mountain, Mount Spokane. Skiing. You know, we got stuff to do. That's just a handful. I make it sound boring, but it is good. However, I cannot stand Washington any longer. I hate the cold. And I need to go somewhere cheaper because pretty soon this is going to be a Washington story. Pretty soon there's going to be a house in Washington that got flooded and Sasquatch came in and just tore it apart, and it's going to be listed for $250,000. The listing agent, Kevin Wheeler, said that it's an open concept floor plan. No kidding. It's quite literally an open floor. It's just a floor at this point. There's like 3. I'll show the picture. It's great. I mean, it's like in itself, it's a small house. So not only is it already like would be normally a small house if it was fully put together and didn't get hit by a tree, it's torn in half. It is missing. It's like a set from a movie. It's like a movie set. It's literally what it is. There's like 3 rooms. I can't even tell what's a bedroom. Looks like this is the kitchen. I can't tell if that's a mirror or not. A bedroom, a kitchen, and maybe the living room. But it's already extremely small property. You got neighbors like left and right. There's not even there's hardly an inch of space. I don't even think you have a backyard at all. It's not even a property. It's just a house. It's just a building. It looks like a movie set because there's no ceiling and there's no walls. It looks like something you would set up props in and just record people with a camera. I mean, maybe this is what they'll use it as. A $500,000 movie set somewhere in the suburbs. I mean, the audacity to list this on the market and not just tear it down and build a new building. I don't know anything. Just do anything else other than put it on the market as a half house. So the state regulations say that the demolitions on properties more than 50 years old, which the house is, require a review. But since it was destroyed by what's known an act of God, right, because California believes in God. You mention God in any other situation, and they're like, get out of here with that. But when your house gets blown up by an IED, they go, God did that. I don't know what to tell you. God did that. God killed your dogs and your roommate and had a tree fall on your house and took down the value by half, which I don't know how this house was worth $1 million in the first place. But it was an act of God. I don't know what to tell you. There's been a lot of interest so far because demand is so high and inventory, especially at this price, what a steal, is so low. Wheeler told the Times. Are they just living in a dystopia over there? I mean, I just complained about Washington. I think it's bad enough here. The average home here is probably somewhere in $400,000 for an average single-family household. Maybe 1 or 2 stories, few bedrooms, few bathrooms. The fact that this man is going to take it to the news and say, with this price, you're lucky it's still on the market, buddy. You're lucky it's even this low. You're lucky we're not charging the original $1 million. I mean, it was once at one point a house. You get the property with it, right? Let's bump it up to $700,000, shall we? I always love to joke about California and like the expenses over there, gas, food, rent, property, cars, everything. But I never knew it was actually this bad. Reality's starting to sink in like, wow, maybe those aren't jokes. That's life over there. Could not catch me living in California ever. If I was rich, if I made millions of dollars a year, you still would not see me in California. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people who make less than, like they're making 50, 60, can you even live there? 50, 60K? Maybe an apartment. It is Los Angeles. That's the major city with all the problems, but even other areas are pretty expensive. I think more than expensive than here in Spokane. That's just reality. You will not catch me living in California ever, no matter how rich or successful I am. Our next story, moving on, is a little bit more of a tragic one, but we'll find out more as we go. A man was charged with killing 81 animals in a 3-hour shooting rampage. Anybody want to guess where? Okay, I'll give you 3 guesses, but the first 2 don't count. You say California? Correct. How'd you guess? So the person killed miniature horses, goats, chickens, and he pleaded not guilty to animal cruelty and other charges. Sounds like he was just stocking up. He knows something. He's onto something. Election coming up in 2 months, September. He knows how things are going to go, right? No matter who wins, Trump or Kamala. And he's just stocking up on food. He's probably got a bunker somewhere because he lives in Northern California, which is like, I guess, the slightly more red side. It's all a mess. But he's got a bunker up there, probably got a ranch. He's just loading up on meat for the fam. He almost got away with it too. Probably Scooby-Doo and gang got him. This dude's got a rough name. It's not Vincent. Vicente? We're going to call him Vicente. Vicente, age 39, made his first court appearance Thursday after Monterey County Sheriff deputies arrested him earlier in the week for allegedly using several weapons to shoot the animals being housed in pens and cages on a lot of the small community of Prunedale. So it looks like he didn't have a bunker. Said that he lived in a small camper in a vineyard next to the lot where the animals were kept. And the motive is not yet known. I'll tell you what the motive is right now. You ever try to sleep at a ranch or a barn? Or next to one? It's not easy, is it? Cows? I don't know if there was cows, actually. It says goats, small horses, chickens. Chickens are pretty loud. Chickens are pretty annoying. Now, if you're living in a camper, it's not great sound suppression, right? You're trying to sleep every single day, and that camper can move. He should have done the right thing. Listen, I'm not advocating for him. I'm not defending him. But I'm saying that the right thing he should have done is move his camper. Correct. We know that, okay? But maybe he had a flat tire. Maybe he couldn't move the camper. For whatever reason, he decided to choose violence because he could not sleep. It says the motive is not yet known, but my best guess is that he just could not get sleep because of all those animals, which is fair, valid. It's not, I don't think it's like one of those things with the train. Have you ever lived in a city or in a place next to a train for like the first weeks you hear it and then it goes away? No matter when that train comes, it will not wake you up. And it's just like a magic thing. Even during the day, like in Cheney, when I went to school there, when the train came, you just blocked it out. It was like a natural thing. It came like 3 times a day, even during the night. So you're just so used to it that you subconsciously just block it out. But with 81 animals, varies from chickens, goats, horses, all that stuff. I work on a horse farm. Horses can be so loud and annoying. They're usually not that noisy, but goats are. I know that for a fact. Those things suck. So he just got mad. Okay, he had a little bit of a public freak out, a little bit of a crash out, right? It's the new thing people are saying to try and crash out, which is just like freaking out and probably using violence, which is what he did. He had a little bit of a crash out. This is interesting. They said this happened at 3 a.m. So my theory's holding up pretty well, right? He tried to fall asleep, had work next morning, which probably did. Probably homeless. We'll find out. But around 2:30 a.m., maybe 3 a.m., he's like, I can't do it anymore. But get this. He had 8 different firearms, rifles, shotguns, handguns, and 2,000 rounds of ammo with a ton of magazines. And there's an image here. I'll probably pull it up. This is crazy. I mean, this guy was armed to the teeth. There's not a whole lot of information of where he got this and stuff yet because it's still going through the court system. But the fact that this man had that much weapons on him and you only use it on animals, a little bit of a victory maybe. I mean, can we be glad he didn't do it on humans? This could have been a serious mass shooting. Maybe we just take a seat back and go, I'm glad I wasn't in a school. Like, seriously. You know today's age is with school shootings and mass shootings at churches and all sorts of stuff. Let's just be glad this time it was animals. Still tragic. Very sad for the owners. Like I said, I'm not defending him at all. Okay? But animals versus humans, let's be real. Quote, this is obviously the most horrific animal cruelty case we've ever seen in this county. I'm sure, the man was either hungry or could not sleep, and he had a crash out. That's all I can say. That's my best guess. Moving on to Vladimir, but not the Vladimir you think, not Putin, not Daddy Putin in Russia. A Russian spy whale, that is correct. Vladimir, a beloved Russian spy whale, has been found dead under mysterious circumstances. Now you put Russian, Vladimir, and suspicious death together, that is the holy triangle. That just makes sense. Vladimir, a beloved whale believed to have escaped a past life as a Russian spy, was found dead over the weekend in what animal rights organizations say were unnatural circumstances. So this dude was swimming back and forth from Russia to the Ukraine, supplying them information on, Telegram. That's a big story that came out. Probably no one's heard of that. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but there's a big story with Telegram and the owner and Russia and France and all this stuff. Anyways, this is the mastermind behind it. They're just feeding this whale all sorts of information and data and swimming him back and forth from Ukraine and Russia. And that's how Ukraine got into Russia. Remember that? Last week we talked about that. Was that 2 weeks ago? Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Recently, Ukraine invaded Russia, got a part of Russia. Big win, right? Or is it a win? I don't know. This is how they did it because of this man, Vladimir, right here. Very funny name to give a whale during a war, which Vladimir is probably not a hot name right now, right? The gentle giant, who measured some 13 feet long and weighed about 2,000 pounds, has went viral multiple times because he retrieved a kayaker's dropped GoPro camera, was playing fetch with it, and he got your GoPro camera because he thought you were a Ukrainian soldier. He thought a Ukrainian soldier was swimming and dropped they call him a badge cam? I don't know what you call it in war. He went, oh, this will be helpful for Daddy Putin. And then he realized you were just a dumb kayaker and he gave it back to you. All right? This animal is more intelligent than you think. This wasn't some sort of fun game he was doing. He still is a Russian spy. Okay? Or Ukrainian spy. If he's maybe he's playing both ways. He's in it for the money, okay? Whoever's paying more. Maybe they're both paying him. He's a whale. Okay? Treats. So he was found dead between 14 and 15 years old. And I guess they usually live to be 30, so half years old. And they said there was a suspicious death. I guess he had marks and cuts around him. Maybe he was hit by a boat, they say. But they're going to do a necropsy. But they're going to do a necropsy, which is like an autopsy for animals, maybe. I don't know why we have a different word for that. We could just say autopsy for investigating a dead body of any sorts. Got to make it more difficult. Marine biologists. I'll tell you what happened right here. I love guessing the endings of these stories. I'm pretty good at it. I'm usually right. Rarely am I wrong about these guesses. One day he received a email on Yahoo, because they use Yahoo. They don't use Gmail over there in Russia. He received a Yahoo email from Mr. Vladimir Putin himself saying it was urgent. And when he arrived to Russia, it was a trap. Mr. Putin had found out that he had been double dipping and working both ways, being paid from both the Ukrainians and the Russians, and that he was also giving up Russian information to the Ukraine. So he had him killed right there on the spot. And then Putin sent his body back on the ocean for like a message or something. It's my guess. I think these whales deserve more credit than they're given. Pretty intelligent animals. And this is how far This is the depths Ukraine has gone to win this war, is rely on whales as spies. So we have one more fantastic story. I had to save this one for last. I saw this one last. I was almost going to start, and then I just came across my eyes, and I was like, it's too good to be true. So before I start this, though, I want to say I just bought tickets to Florida. I'll be going to Florida next month in October and probably doing a couple shows there, just some open mics or something. We'll see. But if you're in Florida and listening to this, which I doubt because we have like 20 listeners, but if you have any friends in Florida, if this reaches Florida, then come see me. I'll be in Fort Lauderdale and Miami. I'm still figuring out the clubs and whatnot. But yeah, I'll post that obviously on my Instagram. And I will be doing stand-up on Tuesday the 17th. I believe it's either the 17th or 18th, Tuesday or Wednesday of September. So in 2 weeks, about a little less than 2 weeks. September 17th, I believe, Tuesday night. Come see me downtown, Spokane Comedy Club. So this is the woman speaking. Okay, not me. This is the headline of the story. I breastfeed my 7 dolls and care for them like they're real babies. I don't care what the haters think. Well, I think absolutely you should, and you should start listening to them and maybe any friends and family in your life, because I can't imagine a single person in your life who is not on medication, severe medication, could be encouraging this and allowing this to happen. Kelly Cunningham, now before you guys guess, sadly, confusingly, not California, I know, but New York. So pretty much, right? That's like second. It goes California, New York, maybe Chicago, Florida, right? This is a New York woman. So we're real close on the tail there. She always wanted to be a mother, but without a baby of her own, she is breastfeeding her dolls. Now, when I saw this picture, these dolls look really real and they're creepy. And they're probably, sadly, like thousands of dollars. Instead of adopting, right? There's a thing called adopting. And we need it now more than ever, especially in New York. I can only imagine there's a lot of opportunities in New York to adopt or foster a child. But no. Why would she do that? She's going to buy 7 lifelike dolls for $15,000 and breastfeed them like they're real children. What did the COVID vaccine do to us? Kelly bought a reborn doll for her 27th birthday and says she quickly felt her maternal instincts kick in. It's because you turned 27. That's about the ripe age to get married, maybe start a family the normal way. Now, I don't know if she's infertile or whatever it is. Decaf, unleaded, however you call it. But she's now 29, and she said, I just couldn't help but want to care for Jennifer like a real child. That's probably one of the children here. This is just creepy. I can't even look at these images. I can't explain how it happened, but I suddenly got so attached to her. I can't even read this with enthusiasm. I'm going to read this so monotone. I can't encourage this at all. I can't explain how it happened, but I suddenly got so attached to her and spent that week buying her clothes and eventually her own bed that sits next to the end of my bed in my room. This is literally Annabelle's mother. This is the beginning to a horror movie. This is Annabelle's mother right here. I don't even know how you'd be comfortable with that. The idea of having a doll anywhere in my house. When I have children, man, they can play with Legos or something else because they're not getting lifelike dolls. Or any dolls. I've seen the movies, okay? I'm not stupid. I know what happens. No dolls in the household. No dolls in the Kaiserman household, all right? We're setting rules now. This is where it gets worrisome. My comment earlier about how there's no way she has any friends or family that can be allowing this. My dad explained to me it was normal to have that desire to be a parent now that I'm in my late 20s. Correct. That's a good statement. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But so I didn't really question why I love these dolls so much, like a real children. She continued. So that's her own thoughts. So her dad slightly encouraged it, maybe. Her dad said, I bet there's a but. She left out the but. My dad said it's normal, but he's now since disowned me and blocked me on all social medias and my phone numbers. That was the but that we're missing. Oh, these children. I can't even show this image, but I don't even want to. This is terrifying. Gosh, they look so real. Oh, the one on the left is terrifying. Dude, the one on the left, that is not even a human child. I don't know what that is. I mean, obviously, they're all dolls, but is that supposed to resemble? That's the new AI. This is the new AI, by the way. This is where it's taking us. They probably talk in AI. Over the past few years, Cunningham has continued to add to her collection. That's a weird way to put it. And now cares for 7 reborn. I mean, it is a collection. It's a collection of dolls. But the fact that she refers to her children as a collection, that's interesting. Imagine my mom just said, yeah, we have a collection of 4. I'm going to start doing that. This lady's ahead of her time. I'm using that. Although she's done research in a reborn community, the doll mama has upset some with her care tactics, especially by pretend breastfeeding. I did my research with the reborn community. Reborn's the dolls for tracking. So I already knew that breastfeeding a doll was frowned upon, she said. Looking back on it, I should have kept it to myself because I made a lot of people mad admitting it. No kidding. Can you imagine sitting down in New York City. You're taking the bus to work. And you have been married for 3 years, no children. And you recently found out you're infertile. You cannot have kids. And it's been you've tried and tried again with your husband, and it's devastating. And every time you see a baby, your heart just melts because you want to have a child for yourself. And you sit down on the bus, and you look to your left, and you see this woman breastfeeding a fake baby in public. I can see how people would be upset. This is ridiculous. That would be a justifiable reason for a crash out. Just saying. I mean, just the fact that she spends this much money on clothing, looks like fake food possibly, the crib, blankets, toys, all this stuff. All that money could be going to so much better things. This lady lives in New York. Now, it didn't specify city. There are 1,000 things I could think of that people could need. This money could go towards to, other than fake children and their needs. Just plastic and rubber. For her older doll children, they grow up? What? You just buy them at whatever age you want? This just seems perverted. Now, if a dude had one of these things, big no-no. I mean, let's be real. It's a no-no that she even has one in the first place. But this company should be shut down immediately. So for her older doll children, Cunningham concocts a fake formula because she says that baby formula in the reborn community is a big no-no. I'm glad they have rules. Thank goodness. Thank goodness that real baby formula in the reborn doll community is a big no-no. Can we find the rule book, please? Can we look up these rules in this community? Number 1, make sure you always put a seatbelt on the child in a vehicle. Rule number 2, if you start breastfeeding your fake doll, seek help immediately. She skipped over the rules, that's for sure. Right there in rule 2. If you start breastfeeding it, call 911 and throw the baby away. The doll, not the baby, the doll. I don't even know. See, it's getting into me, dude. So yeah, the rest of the story goes on. She basically buys different outfits for them. She's got a page on TikTok and Instagram. She posts about it. She actually takes these dolls in public. I don't know if she rounds all 7 at a time. What do you even do? You just hold them? Oh, this is terrifying. This might be where we're headed. People who don't want to date and marry and have kids, they're just going to get little AI baby dolls. Better get used to this. California's looking at this right now like, how did we not think of this first? She stated, when I'm in public, I don't care anymore what people think. Good for you. See, I don't care what people think of me in public either, but I'm also not hauling around 7 fake baby dolls. So it's a little bit different. I might get made fun of for my shoes, my hat, my look. I can take that. If I was holding a fake baby doll around in public, please send help. Call my parents. Check on me. Stop me in the street, for God's sake, and just slap me in the face. Better yet, arrest me. Throw me in jail at that point. Anything. Follow me over on Instagram at cadenkaiserman. That is at CADENKAISERMAN. There you can find my link tree to my Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, everything good. I'll be posting updates. Like I said, I'm doing some stand-up Tuesday, 17th, I believe. Obviously, I'll post about it before it happens. Keep you updated on the Florida trip. I'll be trying to look for some opportunities there at clubs. That's all I'll have for you. Good night.